All right, as the battle that we're fighting here against the virus rages in the U.S. and around the world, our adversaries, China, Russia, and Iran, are taking advantage of the global pandemic to weaken Western democracies and disinformation against us. Let's bring in the four-star general, senior strategic military commander, General Jack Keane. General, what is Russia and China do on the intelligence end to hurt us?
Yeah, well, let me first say all three of these countries are certainly exploding COVID-19 at our expense. But none of their activities are putting us on a path to major confrontation. I want to assure our audience about that. First of all, disinformation is one of their mainstays. And that is they want to undermine the people's trust in their government. They're also pushing back on the sanctions that have been imposed and want them removed based on the humanitarian effect of COVID-19. And the other thing is they're underscoring the fact that the United States has the largest outbreak of COVID-19, and that's due largely to the incompetence of the United States government. That is what is surrounding their disinformation campaign. They're also posturing in terms of trying to create goodwill in terms of their rhetoric, but also delivering supplies and equipment and people, particularly Russia, China, Iran's not involved in it, to other countries. And then the last thing they're doing, Russia has tied up the president in Ukraine a little bit because of COVID-19 and the focus he has to have on his country. He got him to agree to negotiate with Russian proxies for the first time. But interesting enough, the people balked on it. And Iran is posturing here to take advantage of what they believe the United States has turned inward. And I think that is why the United States picked up on a plan for them to conduct a large-scale attack inside Iraq, excuse me. It may have been thwarted by the president acknowledging that that was in the planning stage. And also China, because Taiwan has been so successful dealing with COVID-19 and they've been critical of mainland China, they've upped all of their military activities around Taiwan. But then again, I want to say that none of these activities put us on any path to major conflict or war, with the exception of possibly some limited conflict with Iran, which would not lead to war.
So that's what they're trying to say. But let's now look at reality. China's may be experiencing a second wave, number one. Number two, the Russians act like they don't really have a coronavirus problem. They got a huge problem. And then Vladimir Putin has already paid the price. In what respect?
Well, yeah, COVID-19 is hitting Russia like it is any other country. And, of course, they're dealing with is absolutely uneven. They haven't marshaled all the resources of their government and private sector the way the United States has in coping with it, growing unrest in the country. In April, President Putin was supposed to have a referendum of consolidation, which would give him the presidency indefinitely. He has now called that off because the popularity for President Putin is tanking. And that obviously is a good thing as far as the United States is concerned, because Putin gets up every morning trying to put a finger in the eye of the United States.
The other thing is Iran is saying, hey, world, have the U.S. release the sanctions. We're getting killed here by the coronavirus. Should we?
No, absolutely not. Look, we offered them humanitarian aid, Brian, and they turned it down. We've got to keep our foot on the pedal here with sanctions. And there's one sanction that we should impose, and we have given relief to Russian nuclear power companies, Rosatoms namely, and the reason is dealing with nuclear power plants. And the reason is the United States is dependent on foreign uranium, and particularly Russian uranium. We should impose sanctions on Rosatoms and others like that. We should absolutely close the door on the Iranians. The Iranians have never been on their heels as much as they are now, and we've got to keep the pressure on them.
At least in my lifetime. And finally, when it comes to reopening our economy, there's some principles in the military that you want to bring forward that could help us in the civilian world, show flexibility, show perseverance, and decentralize the execution. So, for example, what happens in Philadelphia won't exactly be needed in Charlotte, North Carolina, correct?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Different places, different times, changing situation. You have to have flexibility, so adapt to a changing situation, assess the risk, and then execute vigorously. Perseverance is about overcoming the impediments, the obstacles, setbacks, and failures, but you persevere nonetheless, and you have to have the spine to overcome your fear, because you're never going to be able to make decisions based on perfect information. There's always risk involved, and we'll see that as we begin to make decisions about putting people back to work. There's certainly risk involved in that. There likely would still be some spread involved until we absolutely get a vaccine to shut it down. But nonetheless, we've got to make those decisions.
And be strong emotionally to get through this because it's all unprecedented. General Jack Keane, thanks for putting it all in perspective. Have a great weekend.